Welcome to the Safe Wheel live stream, where I share my real P&L on 3 accounts and teach my proprietary Safe Wheel trading options trade system at no charge for free. Type in the chat that you can hear me okay. I want to make sure that my audio is working. And I do have an announcement to make. Let me pull that over here. Just a quick announcement that I will be hosting a live information session about an exciting update to my Premier Level 5 system. This event will take place tomorrow, Tuesday, October 3rd, and this is for you if you have at least $30,000 in capital and you want to learn the best trading strategy to beat the S&P 500, making money in all markets, all while preserving capital and keeping drawdowns extremely low. To claim your spot, go to this free web event, head over to www.real-pl.com/event. And there's also going to be a link here in the description of this video. So again, there's an exciting new update to my flagship PL5 strategy that I'll be sharing, and go use the link in the description to get to that live event. All right. You can hear me loud and clear. Thank you, guys. Also, be sure to post any questions you might have. I want to get to all your questions before I end the broadcast. Let's get started then. Let's talk about the earnings edge. You can see my account here. If you noticed, maybe you didn't notice, but there is no new trade here. Last week, none of the companies going into earnings fit through the filters. There weren't very many companies going into earnings. It was kind of a slow week. And so of those very few, none of them fit through the filters, so I did not make a trade. So that would be the earnings edge. Let me show the spreadsheet here, which has a kind of the statistics since inception: 34 wins, 20 losses, 9 break evens. But I did an update in late 2022 in October. Since then, I've 14 wins, 13 losses, 6 break even. So basically 50-50 win rate. 945 is my average win, 477 is my average loss. So anytime you have a 50-50 win rate and your win's almost twice as large as your loss, you're doing pretty well. 2022, this thing did 63% when the market was down 19. In 2023 up to date, let's see what the S&P is trading for, or the SPY is trading for. 427.24. Let me put that in there. And 9,300, that's accurate. So the earnings edge is up about 13%. S&P 500 up 11.7% year to date. But the earnings edge has a lot more risk than the S&P. So the S&P is outperforming this year. But overall, since I started trading it, it's up 86%, and the S&P is down 10%. That's the earnings edge. All right, let's talk about the Premier Level 5. So turn off my phone here. The Premier Level 5. Let's get into that account. Okay. So with the Premier Level 5, you can see my P&L 35,900. And let's put that into the spreadsheet there so we can see what the numbers look like for the system. You can see my P&L right there, 35,903. $35,903. We're down a little bit since last week. Record is 22, 8, and 8. I've got 2 open trades. So 22 wins. So it's this system has much more winners than losers. You can see started on April 8th, 2022, up 12%, where the S&P was down about 6. And now this year, we're up about 6, and the S&P is about up 11. So we're about half the S&P, but we're also 1/4 the drawdown. So we are outperforming on a risk-adjusted basis. But overall, since inception, and I've been showing the P&L live on this every week, up 19.68, where the S&P is up 4.5%. So vastly outperforming since I started trading this April 8th, 2022. That's the PL5, and that's where I have the upcoming live event where I'm going to talk about this trade and some details about this trade, and maybe you might want to learn how to trade it. Okay, and let's talk about the safe wheel trading DraftKings. All right, so I'm trading DraftKings. Let's take a look at the P&L of this system before I actually trade it. Kind of the history of it. You can see the net lick was 65.76. 65.76 is the current net lick. So you can see I started trading this in the first day of 2022, and in 2022 did 21.7. The S&P was down 19.4. So far this year, up 8%. S&P up 11. The risk reward on this one's about equal to the S&P 500. So the S&P is outperforming in 2023 just slightly. But if you take the overall performance, the safe whale's up 31.5. The S&P is down 10 since inception. Okay, so vastly outperforming, and this is a pretty simple system. You can get this system if you want it. You can learn it here for free. I'll go over any questions you have. I'll go over everything that I do. But there's other details that happen outside of what I've done live. And if you want the course, you can get the fast track to this, and there's a link in the description for that. There's also a link in the description for the course for the Earnings Edge. Actually, the Earnings Edge, the cart is closed right now, but you can get on a waiting list for that. Okay, so let's talk about the safe wheel and what am I going to do today. So I come in, the first thing I see is I own 100 shares. I'm trading DraftKings and I own 100 shares. And my shares where costs are $30.50, not $28. And I own a long call to the end of this week, so I don't need to do anything with that. And I have a put hedge. And my put hedge, I always ask, is this under 130 days, under 100 days? And if it is, I have to switch it out. Or if is it too far away from the actual price of DKNG? DKNG is actually under the price of my hedge. So I know it's not too far away. It's actually in the money. So I know my hedge is good. Now I just need to look at doing the traditional wheel. What I want to do is sell a covered call against my shares, and my assignment price was $30.50. Let's see if there's anything available to do that. I want to go into the nearest expiration cycle. Let's see here, DKNG, let's do that. So nearest expiration cycle here is 4 days. It ends on, today's Monday, it'll be Friday when these expire. This is the expiration cycle I like to run the wheel in. Gives me the most appreciation. So $30.50. I cannot get, so my goal is to get around $30, and I cannot get $30 or more at my assigned price. Okay, I can only get $20 approximately. The premium's not enough. It's not enough to sell it. So I'm going to go ahead and open tier 2. I'm going to run I'm going to add another tranche. I'm going to increase my size. I'm going to take some more risk. This is the maximum amount of risk I'm ever going to take, is 200 shares. So I have that capped off. So I could go to the $28 one. That's approximately $30. But I'm going to go to the $28.50 here. I'm going to kind of go, what I like to do is go about where I can get the premium I want and then come back one if I can, as long as I'm still out of the money, which I am out of the money, because at the money is $29, so $28.50. So I'm going to sell this one. I'm going to do one I have between $5,000 and $10,000. So I'm trading one wheel and 3 put hedges. So I'm going to do one here. Possibly get $45 for it. Selling one. And let's see here if I could get filled. Maybe I'm going to get 44. Collect another $44. There it is. Filled order here. So now what I have is I'm kind of stuck in these shares, right? But I have my hedge covering me. And I opened up a new tier. So I've increased my risk a little bit up to possibly 200 shares. I won't go any more than that. And I'm getting to a point where I might use some of my margin in order to maintain these shares. We'll see how that works. And that's it for this particular safe wheel. Today is just basically selling a put, starting the wheel over with tier number 2. Okay, so let's see if there's any questions about that. All right, you guys can hear me okay? Will. What current trading content creators would you most be interested in reviewing if you were ever to do another guru review? Typically, the way I judge that is whoever's advertising to me the most. So probably a guy named Todd Rampy right now is the guy that I just keep seeing his advertisements. I don't know if I would review him, but just he's the one that's top of mind because he's putting himself at top of mind, right? So that's how I pick him. All right, Tron. When we have 2 tranches, can you show how to adjust last in, first out on toss to keep the trade price accurate? Yes, I did a video on that, on how to do that with Thinkorswim, and it's part of the course. So if you become part of the course, if you go ahead and go in there, you'll be able to see the video that I did on that. I'm not going to go into it live or anything like that. And also, well, to answer your question, if anyone is sharing their P&L, that is kind of a priority for me to review them. Not always, but that also sets precedent. When someone's claiming to share their P&L, I'll review them too. Okay, less is more. Let's see. Do you ever consider selling the whole position and restarting when a put hedge is so much of the money? Yes, absolutely. If I own 200 shares, I don't own 200 shares, but if I did, and my put hedge was up, my open, it was up, so this was up $300, right? Let's say that my 200 shares is down $200, then I would go ahead and restart everything all over again because my put hedge is paying off. But I need to have 200 shares to consider that. That's the way I set up the system. Other people might set it, do something different there, and that's fine. Well, I like our position of the safe wheel these past few weeks. Looks really safe. Can you show your risk graph? Sure. Let me see if I can get that on there. Let's go to analyze. And where are we trading? 29-ish, right here. Yeah, so there's the risk graph. Yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Because it doesn't really go below 0. But the thing about these risk graphs, this particular one, is it doesn't really take into consideration the past trades that I've made with this particular round or this particular position. So that's what makes it a little bit inaccurate at times. You have to kind of put your past trades in there, but pretty much all my past trades were just collecting premium. So this particular cycle is doing pretty well, looks like. I wanted to compare mine since I adjust things differently sometimes. Yeah, there you go. There's the risk graph. Looking pretty good. All right. I don't see any more questions. Just wanted to make sure, throw a reminder out there that there will be a link in the description about my exciting new update about the PL5. And just take a look at the link in the description. I'm going to be sharing some things about the PL5 that are very interesting. And you might even get the option to learn that on your own. Let's see here. Anthony, when it's time to roll your call on Friday, wouldn't it be more logical to just let the expiring call expire worthless and buy next week's call instead of rolling, which incurs a commission on the toss? Yes, but if I did that, I would not be able to hold the call over the weekend. And I recently made a change to the system. I used to buy it on Monday morning, but I changed it to buy it on Friday to hold over the weekend. And if I let it expire, I won't have a chance to buy it until Monday. So that wouldn't, I would have to buy it on Monday if I did that. Less is more. Everyone, hit the like button. It helps others find this channel. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that very much. Yes, it does help others. I think that it would be advantageous for other people to see someone who actually shares their P&L. There's a reason why instructors don't share their P&L, right? I mean, there has to be a reason. If they shared their P&L, they would be a different type of instructor, wouldn't they? And they don't show their P&L, and there's got to be a reason behind it. What is that reason? And when you ask them, they'll have a multitude of excuses. Rather than just sharing their P&L, they'll have an excuse as to why they don't. And what is that? Why are they not doing it? What is their excuse for that? What could possibly be the reason that they don't share their P&L? I don't know. Maybe you guys can figure that out. Will I still buy it on Monday and the long call? And I know I'm risking the weekend, but I'm saving on the commission cost. Yeah, and that's the way I originally set up the system. I ran it that way for, I don't know, a year and a half, probably. So nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Typically some questions kind of come in at the last second. Are there any more questions? All right, I don't see any. Okay, so I'm going to go towards ending the broadcast. So what I always like to say, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? All right, we'll see you guys next week.